Hey everyone, so this is just going to be a quick video on the types of lighting in Unreal Editor. So if you started the default scene or the starter content, this will be roughly what you have. I've just extended it a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and start right with the directional light, which is already in the scene. It is tied as the light source and it's just grabbing from the directional light. Basically you can treat this as the sun. You're not going to want to have duplicates of this. You have one directional light and it works as a sun. If we look at the manipulator here and move it around, you can see it's not really doing anything, and it won't. The only way you'll be able to change the lighting through the directional light is if we go into rotate and we actually rotate that light in the sky like the sun would be. So if you see here now that I'm rotating it, we're getting the light to change. So the second light that we're going to be using is just a point light. If we just drag one in, it's very simple. Kind of has it does work based on the manipulators here, so we can move this up and down, further away. If we scale it, you'll see the sphere that's coming around. That's the attenuation sphere. So if we come over here into the details, if we slide that back and forth, we can also scale that. The source radius is going to be, essentially think of that as like a light bulb. What is the size of that bulb? So if we go ahead and type something in here a little bit more, maybe 25, you can see now I'm getting this yellow sphere, and that represents the source radius. So let's just make that 100. Now that's like a really large light. We can also, if we move this over a little bit, if we change the source length, okay, go ahead and same thing, just type in 10, maybe something a little bit more. 100. Now you can see that's more like a capsule, so we can still turn this. If we really stretch that out, maybe 1000. Right, so you can see what that's doing and how that affects the shape. If you're fortunate enough to be able to run version 4.20, you will have a new type of light in there called the rect light or rectangle light. This works very similar, but we can also change the other direction, which allows us to sort of make like soft lights or area lights that you would see in something like Maya or another package. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that radius back. Okay, so we have that one in the scene. So next will be spotlight. This works just like spotlights in other 3D programs. So if I raise that up, scale this a little bit. So the attenuation radius works the same way. This is going to be how, like the fall off on the light, how far that light will go. If I rotate this maybe a little bit. And just put up the brightness. Now as I change that attenuation, you can see when it starts to hit the wall or not. And kind of tone this guy down. All right, put this up. And there we go. Okay, so if we come back up here to the inner cone angle, well, let's start with the outer cone. So that's just what you see right there, right? That's the large cone. We can make this like a big area light, or we can really pinpoint something. Let's go ahead and change the attenuation. So now it's hitting the wall. Now the inner cone will give a secondary one. You can see now what that's doing is softening or making that edge very sharp. Okay, so now we've got a much sharper edge. Zoom out a little bit, grab that guy. Turn that way down. Click. You can see it's a lot softer. So the last thing I want to talk about here is the skylight. What the skylight does, and if we hold Command and Alt, see here, Okay, this captures parts of your level and helps apply it to the scene. So, if you're in kind of a darker room or you're trying to get some of that bounce light to happen, you'll definitely notice the change when I drag this in. You can see now it's pulling from the sky and the an HDRI if you have that applied to help with the lighting and fill in the lights. Remember, after you've set your lights or you do any movements, you will have to build it. Go ahead and build. And there we go.